So as a massive fan of animated movies, I am really proud to say that The Sea Beast is a really great addition to this awesome genre. However, you leave this movie thinking that it could have just been so much better. What is up everybody, welcome back to my channel Lifestyle Critic. I hope you're having a brilliant day. So in this video we are going to be reviewing The Sea Beast, which is a computer animated swashbuckling pirate adventure movie from Netflix, which is really great. However, it definitely does have a lot of pacing issues. It's got a really predictable twist that you can absolutely see a mile off, and if you have seen these kinds of movies before, then there are a lot of things that are actually borrows from other movies, so it does kind of feel like you have seen certain things before. And like I said, it just could have gone even bigger, better and bolder with it. However, all of that being said, after the first act of this movie, it definitely does pick up a lot, and I'm going to be breaking it all down for you in this movie review. So for hundreds of years, sea beast monsters have allegedly been causing absolute havoc to mankind, which has led to a group of hunters killing them over the last century. The most highly sought after sea beast is called Red Bluster, and one day Captain Crow and his team locate the Red Bluster, and the film then explores what will happen next. And it also looks at the deeper truth about the history between mankind and sea beasts. Now from a positive point of view, this movie is such a fun adventure film. You really do get to feel like you are on this ship with all of these different pirate characters, and you're going on these adventures trying to locate all of these massive scary sea beast monsters, and just finding out the deeper, darker truth about what's actually going on is really engaging. And I really like the world that they introduce everyone to in terms of the sea beast monsters. Although that being said, they could have definitely gone into more detail and depth, no pun intended, with that particular world. However, from a negatives point of view, like I said earlier on, the starting first act of this movie is really slow and to some extent a little bit boring and drawn out. However, after this it definitely does improve, and there are some unanswered questions that you have by the end of this movie. Maybe they did that on purpose as they want to lead it into a bit of a sequel, but it is a little bit frustrating, and it's also a little bit confusing in this movie as well, as it jumps between different timelines, especially in the first act, which is why I don't think it's that great. And also there's one scene where you're not really sure what on earth is happening in the next scene, because they don't really explain what happened by the end of that scene. And they just had so much potential with the Wicked storyline and while they were setting up into going into more depth and detail with it. But you know, that being said, like I said, maybe they're doing that on purpose because they are going to do that in future installments. But what you do get is a really emotionally driven storyline, especially when you're unearthing the truth, which is really great from a storyline perspective. So from a cast and characters point of view, the Sea Beast is actually really great, as all of their characters are really layered, and each individual one has got their own individual agenda, which is really great. As the movie progresses, you find out a lot more about all of these. So let's go through them one by one. So first up, we have the legendary Karl Urban, who is just absolutely brilliant as Billy Butcher in The Boys, and in this film he's playing a character called Jacob Holland, and he just does an absolutely excellent job, a really true courageous and loyal leader in this movie. But the thing that I love about this character is that he's not the perfect type of hero. Even though he's got blonde hair, he isn't the perfect type of hero that you typically see depicted as Prince Charming and all of those type of characters, which is why I think Karl Urban just does such a good job, as he just brings all the imperfections of this character to life. So for example, he is a true believer of everything that he has been told, and he hasn't really questioned it, and this has led him to become the character that he is in the current present day. And then when these beliefs are challenged, you can just really feel the turmoil with this character. But I just think he's a really great captain in the making. He is absolutely brilliant with swords and all the sword fighting. He is really loyal and really does care for all of his comrades and all of his other crew members, and he's really great in terms of defending the ship and just trying to battle all of these sea monsters as well. And I do feel like a little bit they are basing this character to look a little bit like Chris Evans as well. I feel like Chris Evans wouldn't have been the right choice for this character for all of the reasons why I said before, in terms of Karl Urban just smashes it in this role. Next up we have Maisie, played by Zaris-Angel Hator, and she is such a positive soul and has wanted to be a pirate for so long, and just idolizes them and kind of dreams about this as her deceased parents were also pirate fighters and hunters as well. And she goes on a really interesting journey in terms of bonding with a lot of different characters from a pirate point of view, as well as with the sea monsters as well. So she finds out a lot more about mankind and the sea beasts and what's really going on. And I just feel like because she's such a young character, she just brings so much vivacious energy along with innocence as well. And it's this childlike innocence that really is able to shake people really, really well. We've also got Jared Harris, who does such a good job voice acting the Captain Crow character. He has been a successful Captain Hunter for so long, and he has got an absolutely mighty temper, which the Jacob character is able to calm down a lot and definitely does save him in a number of situations. But at the same time, Captain Crow definitely saves Jacob as well in a number of different situations as well. And I love the fact that this is a bit of an older character, and so he is totally unwilling to shift his belief on how, you know, hunters and sea monsters should coexist and all of the beliefs that he has been told and fed to him. And he has a lot of rivalry with a lot of other characters, so I just feel like the Captain Crow character is absolutely brilliant. We've also got the King and Queen of the Empire definitely giving a lot of orders and creating a lot of difficulty for a lot of the other characters as well. And I absolutely love the privilege that they show the King and Queen to be in, because they are super rich and are able to just do whatever they please, which is really, really interesting. And you can definitely compare them to a lot of other Empire-esque characters, but I won't spoil anything in terms of what happens with these characters. We've also got Dan Stevens voicing their second in command, the Commander, and I love this character as he is such a perfect character, at least from the outside, and I love how he is in complete conflict and contrast with the Captain Crow character, as well as to some extent with the Jacob character as well, especially as he is coming from a place of privilege as well. I wish we would have gone into depth with this character, as I do feel like he has potential to be really, really even more interesting and a lot more layered than we saw. We've of course got Captain Crow's wider team, and I just love how much they are so dedicated to the ship and to the captain as well, and they definitely are believing a lot of the Captain Crow's views as well. And of course we've got the sea beasts and the sea monsters themselves. Definitely a big threat to a lot of other ships and mankind for sure as well. But I do love it in terms of it really does make you question who really is the enemy at the end of the day. And finally, we've of course got a bit of a voodoo toxologist. I mean, we saw this type of character in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. We saw it's a very similar character, of course, the voodoo priestess in the Monkey Island franchise as well. And of course, in this movie, we've got a really, really similar character too. So from a casting characters perspective, like I said, they actually absolutely wicked in the Sea Beast. So from a visuals point of view, the Sea Beast actually looks really, really impressive. It's very vibrant in its design, which looks really, really cool. I feel like they could have given the red Sea Beast character a little bit more facial expressions, as it doesn't emote that well. I mean, it does from its eyes, but not from its entire body or facial expressions for sure. But I absolutely love all of the brilliant battle sequences in terms of Sea Beast battling all of these mankind characters and all of their ships as well. All of those sequences look absolutely wicked. There are some really cool islands that some of the characters visit as well. And the Empire, you really can feel the difference between these hunter characters and these super extravagant rich characters that live in this extravagant palace in the Empire. Really is light and day. And I just feel like the computer animations just really do bring this swashbuckling pirate adventure movie to life really, really well. Say from a comparisons perspective, I do actually prefer some other animated movies that are really, really similar. So for example, the Pirate series, the Monkey Island video game series, and from an animation point of view, I did actually prefer Tintin and Treasure Planet. But I would say this movie is probably on the same level as How to Train Your Dragon, which is really, really similar to this movie. Epic, Peter Pan, and of course the Dora movie is similar to this one as well. So I feel like from a comparisons point of view, actually this movie sits in great company. So overall, you know, I did have a really, really great time with this Sea Beast. I think it's a really enjoyable movie and it really does immerse you into this world. Even though it does definitely have some pacing issues and is far from perfect, as it does take a little while to get into, it does totally have a lot of sequel and franchise potential. And so I'm really hopeful that we get a sequel, Sea Beast 2, as like I said, it could be absolutely brilliant. But as far as this movie is concerned, I'm going to give it a solid 6 out of 10. Now I'd love to hear what you thought of this movie, so let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.